Hello, hello everyone. Welcome to my next session of React.js. I know we are following the reactjs.org and we are referring to the stack bliss and no, we made progress. We completed the JSX rendering elements and components and props. So now we are going to do the state and life cycle. So this is an example. In the previous session we have seen the clock example, right, where it get refreshes every second. So it gives you the time, right? So on the same lines, what it has been done is this has been encapsulated into a class, and they're using the inheritance concepts. So that's what it says. Create the class with the name that extends React component and a simple method render. Move the body of the render method. Replace props with this props in the render body. So what they're trying to do is they're modularizing the code, right? And using the trying to use the state set state. So here are like two lifecycle methods they talk, which are like mounting. No, when we want to set up the time whenever the clock is rendered to the done first time. This is called mounting in React. You also want to clear the timer when the DOM produced by the clock is removed. This is called unmounting in React. So these two methods they'll discuss. There are a lot of lifecycle methods are there. We'll visit when we do the advanced concepts. So so this is basically the inheritance they have, right? So so anyway we'll discuss about the mount and unmount, right? Uh, so this is what it does, right? Class extends React component. This is the constructor and this is the syntax super props. So this is the props they are passing, and this is the state, which is the date. This is the new date. This is the component mount where they're incrementing the counter, and the unmount where they're clearing the counter. And this is what you see is an arrow function. This means it's returning it is calling the tick over here. I mean, it will be returning the this tick function. So this is what it will be returning. This is the set state method. So set state, we have the you can go through the detailed documentation, and here is the set state. Set state enqueues changes to the component, tells React that this component children need to be rendered with the updated state. This is the primary method you use to update the user interface response to event handlers and server responses. Right. So this is the set state. So and uh, and this is an important method used in React. Then again we go down. So state updates are merged. When you call state, React merges the object you provide into the current state. For example, your statement contains several independent variables. Then you update them independently with separate set state calls. So what it says is, for example, here for this dot state dot post, you don't use the uh, uh, set state, but you completely replace the this state dot comments. So because they are using the set state over here. So here we go, and um, uh, so so let's click on the code pen. So this is what it does. So let's see what their explanation on how what are they doing. What we are doing is when the clock is passed to render down, React call the constructor clock component. Since clock needs to display the current time, it initializes the digital set state with an object including the current time. We will later update the states. React then calls the clock component's render method. This is how React learns that what should be displayed on the screen. React then updates the DOM to match the clock's output. When clock output is inserted in DOM, React calls component did mount the lifecycle. Inside it, the clock component asks the browser to set up the time to call the component tick method once again. Every second, the browser calls the tick method. Inside it, the clock component schedules UI update by calling set state with an object containing the correct timer. Thanks to set state call, React knows the state has changed and calls the render method again to learn what should be on the screen. This time, this dot such as in the render method will be different. And so the render output will decide the updated time. React updates the DOM accordingly. If clock component is ever removed from the DOM, React calls the component will unmount lifecycle method. So the timer is stopped. So this is what it does, right? So these are the component. These are the these are the component lifecycle methods they're using it, and this is the tick and passes the date. So this is the class it inherits from the React comp. This is extensions. Basically you can go and know check the documentation about the super keyword and extends keyword. So this is what this is the basically constructor, right? So that's the basic syntax and how it should be written structurally using the and this is the element here there. This is the clock element, right? So this is where they're rendering this. So this is the output. So so this is basically implementation using class and lifecycle methods. So this is it sticks to the standards of the React. So yeah, so this is for now, and yeah, and what the other thing is that this forms a tree structure, right? So neither parent nor child if it's stateless, stateful or stateless, and they shouldn't care whether it's defined as a class, function, or class. This is why state is often called local or encapsulated. It is accessible to any component other than the own set. So basically, this component we choose pass its state down as props to stale components. JavaScript uh, supports prototypical inheritance. That's what they are trying to talk about it over here. So this is the code pen, and so so we can. That's what it's saying. The three times they are calling this clock. So So again, this is where it says that this is where they're explaining it. It is the same thing they're extending it over here, but they're explaining it. The clock is being called thrice, right? The props it is being passed and it is being called thrice. So that's what this is. This is the